Just got Gege Akutami's last message to JJK fans that was included in the final volume of the series, and let's just get straight into it. Alright, so we're just going to have read-along time now, so y'all bear with me, but Gege says, the product Jujutsu Kaisen was pissed out for 6.5 years, nearly 7 years if you include the serialization of the special issues, and what I learned was, I really am an idiot. I was of course pushing myself to the limits to pull out everything I could for my creations, and after about 3 years of serialization, my already rough personality began to become absent-minded. Even though I was complaining that I'm fed up with having things pointed out to me that could be figured out by looking it up on the internet, I still made the mistake on volume 18 with the sandpin, and ended up thinking like Gecko Moria that, well, if something happens, the people around me will figure it out. I've also been writing the openings for 6.5 to 7 years through instincts alone. But what this means is that the adults around me were just that reliable. I have really greatly troubled all of my editors, Katayama-san, Ikeda-san, Fukuda-san, and the volume manager, Yanagita-san, the designer, Ishino-san, and all my assistants. Speaking of being a trouble, I believe I put quite a bit of stress every week on the editorial department and everyone at the printers. I really greatly apologize for that. Jujutsu began running with my first editor, Yamanaka-san, and we immediately entered an underground forced labor arc, but he periodically communicated with me. Thank you so much, I am very grateful for meeting you. And he continues, the reason I did not talk much in between the volume releases was because I had become absent-minded. When first becoming serialized, I took into consideration that Jujutsu Kaisen was being serialized in a major magazine. I had this feeling of trying to do my best to alleviate those who would read Jujutsu Kaisen and feel hurt, and those who would be hurt by those who read Jujutsu Kaisen. The result of that was me telling myself, shut up, I get it, you just want to be seen as a good person, and that ended up hurting myself, so I stopped trying that. To begin with, that very idea was prideful, and I understand now that it was due to me lacking the conviction to put my created work out into the world. This is embarrassing, but even now I do not fully have that conviction. When considering evil intent that doesn't exist, I still want to shout out loudly, but the root cause of it is my immaturity as a mangaka, so I hold it in, or rather, I continue on in a condition where all I can do is swallow it down. The good thing about Shonen Jump is that the brand image is built around not the creator, but the created work. And so by trusting myself to make it so that readers can read my manga without worry, I will take the lessons of these 7 years to heart, and I want to overcome my problems after this. I have books packed that I bought during serialization, some for study, some to just have around that they might make me smarter. In truth, I do feel like they have made me smarter just by having them around, even if I didn't read them. It's scary. This is the end of Jujutsu Kaisen that I have drawn. To everyone who supported me, to the people who read it all at once when it became topical, or those who read it wanting to see what came after the anime, to the person who just happened to read this final volume, all of that is fine. I truly thank you. Until we meet again. Alright, wow, there is a lot to unpack there, but ultimately that just leaves me feeling kind of bad for Gege. I mean, he's always had a self-deprecating sense of humor, and this very much reads like that, but it also gets a bit darker than that, and it really feels like Gege might struggle with imposter syndrome, and I can only imagine just like the scrutiny, the pressure, and dealing with the online noise of something to this level, like to have something this successful, like from the jump. I mean, because this is largely his first manga. It's not literally his first manga ever, but it's basically his first serialization ever. His first foray into like the public space in this way, right? So I know that must be a struggle for anyone to deal with. And we all know, you know, kind of the general working conditions as a mangaka, even if you are as successful as somebody like Gege was with something like Jujutsu Kaisen. So I just hope he takes his time, kind of relax and refresh after this before jumping into whatever's next. But, you know, I, for one, can't wait to see what else Gege gives us. So, you know, I'll definitely be checking it out. I know there was a lot of vitriol surrounding JJK, especially the end of it, which I'm assuming is partly to what he was speaking to in terms of, you know, don't tell me what I can just go look up on the internet. Like, I hear what people are saying all the time. So yeah, you know, I do hope this was maybe more self-deprecating and less like introspective kind of darkness, and you know, it's hard to really parse. I don't know the guy, but yeah, so that was his statement that he included in the final volume, and there will be more extras coming, but I just wanted to put out a video on this, and I will of course let you guys know as we get the sketches and all that jazz. But as always, thanks for watching.